Either half or full Ironman triathlon, and that consists of the full Ironman, which I may or may not do. Consists of, I believe, a 4-mile swim, 112-mile bike, and a full marathon at the end. So that'll take a couple years to train for and complete, most likely. But it'll probably improve my cardiac health quite a bit. So there are other perks to it. As for places I want to visit, that one's long and complex. I want to go to Israel. I know that. There's an old fort there called Masada that sounds like a really fascinating place where the Jewish rebels in, I believe, AD 60 committed mass suicide before the Romans came. So it's a really interesting spot to visit. I also want to go to Greece, see the Parthenon, see the Acropolis. I want to take this long tour of Europe. I want to see Istanbul, Hagia Sophia. I've heard Budapest is a beautiful city too. So in summary, I really have a lot of things to do before I die. So I'll get back to you on one of that area.
Plenty of opportunity out there. Okay. Gerard, you're young. Brett, you have a lot of experience. So this question is for you. What is the key to happiness?
Thanks, sir. Greetings, Toastmasters. The key to happiness is remembering who we are. So each of us, sometimes we struggle to find what do we believe in our faith, where are we going, whatever. But in actual fact, we know who we are. We know that we're going back to the original Godhead. So basically, the key to our happiness is to become His children and to be able to forget what we think we know and actually remember and represent ourselves as the children of God. This is the way that God has made us. It's very interesting when you study different religions and you see that there are many different theologies and there are different ways to answer these questions. But in actual fact, the key is really to become as a child and to lose those things that cloud our memory, that cloud our mind, that distract us from really becoming who we are. That's the key to happiness.
All right.
I agree.
I'll take that key. That's what this does.
Yeah.
All right. We have one more question. I really don't need to. I feel like I need to ask another question after having the key to happiness answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back over to.
Julius, that was some really good talk there. I like your answer to that question. Yeah, because that reminds me of like how children, how they're so joyous. While they're joyous because they don't worry about anything. They live in the moment. If you watch a child play, they're not worried about yesterday. They're not worried about tomorrow. They're right there playing. And they're just everything about them. That's joy. This pure joy. That's what we're getting at. I mean, that's happiness. Just no concerns in the world. Just live in the moment. And if you read a lot of books, will tell you that too. A lot of the reason that people aren't happy is because they're worried about tomorrow. Well, there's always tomorrow. You got to live in the moment. Anyway, I really like to go on. At this point, I am going to call our general evaluator, Kendrick, come up here and tell us a little bit about how we did.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Okay, so as part of my general evaluation, I'm going to call up the roles that I introduced to you guys earlier. So the first role is going to be our first evaluator, which is Maurice. Maurice, if you can come give us your evaluation of Lois's speech.
All right.
Fellow Toastmasters, this is the evaluation of Lois's speech, and I'm just going to go out of the book, the questions in Project 1 of the Competent Communication Manual. What strong points does the speaker already have? I said a strong vocabulary and diction. She's a very experienced speaker. She is very energetic. How well did the audience get to know the speaker? The audience got to know the speaker well. Did the speech reflect adequate preparation? Yes. Did the speaker talk clearly and audibly? Yes. Did the speech have a definite opening, body, and conclusion? Yes. Please comment on the speaker's use of notes. I didn't see any notes. You seem to just come out with it.
I
so.
forgot to look at them.
Okay, all right. I mean that's good. I mean, if you're able to just come out with your speech, you're able to do that without notes or without looking at your notes. What could the speaker have done differently that would have improved the speech? What I said was to add a little more spice. You could have ended the speech similar to the way you started it. You started with a string of descriptive words. You know, not that you had to end it that way, but it would have added a little more spice to it. And what did you like about the presentation? She presented her mission in life.
All right.
Evaluate.
Thank you, Maurice. Okay. And it just so happens that I'm the second evaluator tonight, as well as a general evaluator. So I'm going to evaluate Carlotta's speech. The title of Carlotta's, did I pronounce your name correctly? Carlotta. The title of Carlotta's speech was Opportunity Cost and Loss. And immediately the first thing that jumps out to me is I associate opportunity costs with economics, mainly because I was a business major in college. Currently I'm finishing my MBA and I'm taking an international business class. Just read recently about opportunity costs dealing with international business. So based off of your speech, it's kind of weird how what I've been doing already tied into what you were doing, what you talked about. So I more or less had some takeaways from your speech that I feel like I could use in everyday life, and I think everybody else could also use. So the first one I had was time is very valuable. The next one was dedication, apply yourself. And then the final one that stood out to me was sacrifice. So basically the acronym TDS, you can apply to anything in your life if you're really interested about it. The time, you can always use your time. You can always make the best use of your time. Basically, that is the opportunity cost. So if I'm watching television when I know I need to be doing homework, that's my opportunity cost for getting my assignments completed. The dedication, I thought that was good because you can want to do something but not be dedicated to it. So I feel like if you really want to do something strong enough and you feel it's important to you, you'll dedicate yourself. And then the final, the S, the sacrifice, you'll sacrifice whatever you're dedicated to. So I thought those were great takeaways. Another takeaway that I had was the term economically feasible and cost-worthy. And I think most people don't realize how valuable how that correlates with time as it in a whole. So, time is the only thing that you can't get back. You can't get tomorrow back. So that can end up costing you a lot, and it could affect you economically. I thought the speech was well organized, great information. It was very supportive of your general topic. The final things that I have were, it was actually one I never heard of, was the lockstep process. So after I heard that, I had an idea of what it meant, but I looked it up, and it goes along with the growth. So you can't, like you use the analogy with the ladder, you can only go up one step at a time. I mean, that applies to everything in life. People are so eager to get ahead, they don't want to do the small steps that it takes to get to the next level. So I thought it was great information. Very good speaker. The speech was well organized. That concludes my evaluation. If we can have the timer, which is Brett, come and give his report, please.
Professor. This is my report as far as the time the meeting started, on time at 7 o'clock exactly. In terms of our speakers, Lois spoke for 5 minutes and 58 seconds. Carlotta spoke for 10 minutes and 1 second. Mark spoke for 1 minute and 28 seconds. Woody, 1 minute 17 seconds. Heather, 1 minute 20 seconds. Maurice, 1 minute and 10 seconds. JR, 1 minute 26 seconds. Our evaluator, Maurice, was just a little bit shy of the 2-minute mark for his evaluation. It was 150. Kedrick was 224. Thank you.
Okay, if we can have JR come up and give us the grammarian report and the icon report.
Thank you, Kedrick. Let's start off with the all counters. The all counter report. Kedrick, I counted 3 ahs or ums and 1 you know. Gotta be careful about that. Brett, I counted 1 ah. Lois, you said like a couple of times. I counted 3 times. That's also a filler word you should probably be careful of. Woody, your favorite filler word was you know. Counted that 4 times. Be careful with that. Heather, I counted a couple of ahs, about 8, I believe. So you're starting off doing a great job. But that's one thing to look out for in the future as you progress and improve. Is what filler words. Now let's move on to the grammar. Woody, you said looking very much forward to. That's a little bit funky. I would reconsider maybe try looking forward to very much. Or very excited about. I believe you also called Kedrick either Kedrick or Kendrick. So it's going to be confusing because you have a Kendra and a Kedrick. So I think it's going to cause a lot of confusion. So we'll have to be on our best guard for that. Lois, I'd watch out how often you say the word actually. I counted it 4 or 5 times in your speech. And also be careful when you end sentences. I counted a lot of sentences beginning with and then, which creates kind of a breathless pace. And it actually means you have one long run-on sentence instead of a series of statements that the audience can follow more easily. Carlotta, I counted a number of things. Just be careful with finishing sentences. For example, I noticed once you said, make yourself as good as you can, but to finish it as good as you can be. And also be careful with your verb tenses. I heard you say mouths is saying, and you should use mouths are saying instead. Julius, you said impromptuly. I would use improvisationally or speaking without preparation. You also said peremptory, which I give you credit for, although you said it in reference to table topics, and peremptory usually means, or it means something that's rude or brusque or inconsiderate. It's not just something that has no preparation. So be careful how you use peremptory. And Kedrick, one thing I noticed is that you would start a sentence and you'd say I a couple times. So maybe just slow down, don't be afraid to take a pause instead before you begin your sentence.
Sure.
A number of very effective uses of grammar. Carlotta, you said seldom. It's a great word, I hear it a lot. So props for that. Maurice, I love how you talked about having more spice in the ending of the speech. That was a great way to liven up or even spice up your evaluation. And Lois, you had some great, I guess I'm going to call it slam poetry or prayer, slam prayer.
Slam prayer.
Slam prayer, yeah, very flexible and really brilliant. Thank you, Mr. Noah.
All right,
Okay. Very good speech. Grammarian portion, I'm sorry. Very good portion of evaluation from the entire evaluation team, not including myself. The next part of my evaluation is just the meeting in general. So the meeting started on time. The call to order, the invocation, the pledge, the opening was handled smoothly by Maurice and Woody. As far as the meeting business, based off the agenda, we had to do a little shuffling when the meeting started because some of the roles weren't filled, but I think you did a good job of filling the roles of the meeting. if I'm accurate, I think everybody here is a member tonight, no guests. So I counted 10 members, which I think that's awesome, including Mark. The table topics, I thought the table topics were very appropriate, even considering the topic that you gave Heather, which is political season, tomorrow Super Tuesday, so I thought that was very appropriate. And as far as the speeches, I thought Lois did a very good job for her first icebreaker. That was a manual speech, correct? Out of the book? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It was a manual speech. And then Carlotta's, not sure if that was a manual speech or not, but I thought it was a very well done speech.
It's actually a more of a leadership.
Leadership.
Track on.
Okay. Leadership. Well, that concludes my general evaluation.
Very good. Very good job. I agree. I think we've had a great meeting. We learned a little bit here tonight. I think we've had a couple of great speeches, great table topics. I think everybody enjoyed it. Now at this point, okay, Mark, did you want to do a educational overview or something like that? Or is there any?
I couldn't hear what you were asking.
Did you want to do is it, on the agenda it says educational overview, Mark DeVoe? Did you?
Yes, yes. And actually it's sort of preemptory for what Carlotta is going to talk to us about. But before I do that, I want to go over the next meeting, the agenda. So JR is scheduled to be the Toastmaster. And Brett is scheduled to give his second speech.
Okay.
And Heather is scheduled to give her icebreaker.
All right, Heather.
Is that okay, Heather?
Yes.
Okay, great, great. Luke will be the general evaluator, and then I'll send emails out for all the other assignments. On the educational overview, in Toastmasters, twice a year we have contests. So in the spring, what's called the international speech, and also table topics. And in the fall is a humorous type speech. It varies from year to year exactly what kind of speech is. And evaluations. So we're coming up on the spring contest season, and Carlotta is going to talk to us about the international contest and what that involves. And that's the only contest that goes all the way up to international. So they'll crown international Toastmaster giving that speech. But also along with that is a contest for table topics. And I'd like to see if we have a volunteer that can be the contest master. Okay, Maurice, would you like to volunteer?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay. I'm the VP of Education, so it's my responsibility to schedule it and work with you. So we can work offline, and what I'd like to do is schedule it for, I think it's March 28th. It's the last Monday in March. And if we want to, and Carlotta can confirm this, I believe we're able to send the winner on to the area and the district. I'm not sure if it goes any above the district. But Maurice, thank you for volunteering. And I will work with you, get you the forms, and explain exactly how it works. In a nutshell, what happens on the table topics is all of the contestants will leave the room, and single topic will be decided by, they will come in one at a time, do a table topic, and then the judges will evaluate every table topic contestant on the same topic. The votes will be tallied and a winner declared. So that's it in a nutshell on the table topic contest. What I'd like to do is turn control of the meeting over to Carlotta, who's going to tell us about the Toastmasters International Speaking Contest.
Thank you, Mark. The International Speaking Contest. Thank you. The International Speaking Contest is going to be March 6th in Birmingham, but before that, we need to have the local contest in each district. I am the director, the area director for 42. We have 40, 41, and 42. 40 is in Gulfport or Biloxi. 41 is across the bay. 42 is here in this area, North Mobile, which includes Hilltoppers, CPSI, Top Cats, and Smooth Talkers are no longer in force. So the 3 clubs here in the Mobile area. The contest will be among the club members, whoever you choose to speak international. You can have a contest in your club and then let me know. But if you're not going to have a representative to participate in the international competition, then I don't need to schedule one at a library or use a room like this in order for the contestants to compete against each other, for each club to compete, because it won't be any use in it, because you can be competing against 40, 41, and 43, whichever they are. Because there is a district over in Pensacola, and they're also included. Then when all of the area directors have finished their contests and they decide which area is going to send one contestant from each area, then you compete in the division, which is Nelson Ortega, over in Biloxi. He wants to have it there this year because they always come to us. So we want to go to them for a change and not have them travel. Let us travel for a while. So the division contest will be there. And from the division contest, then you go to the regional, which is in Birmingham. And then if you win there out of all the districts that's there, then you go on to Las Vegas. Nelson Ortega, our division director, was the winner last year, and he went to Las Vegas. And out of 30, he came in number 3. So that is a wonderful win. It seems like the winner is always from the Middle Eastern area of the world, because I think the new Toastmaster president is also from India, I believe it is. And the former president spoke at the district meeting and conference, and he was from India as well. So we want to try to send a representative. So if you have anybody that would like to try, and you have to have done 6 speeches in order to compete. And you have to have them already listed, and if you don't have them listed, then your president can help you by getting them online and getting them reported to Toastmasters International. And you don't have to do it right away, but you need to do it before the contest come up. So if you have someone in here that you think speaks well enough that can compete against the other districts, or the area directors, people that volunteers, then let the president know, Captain Lawrence. All right, or Mark DeVoe. So that is it. If you have any questions, please feel free always to call me. If you have any problems with the club and you need any advice, that's what I'm here for until June the 30th. And then I'm not going to take any positions next year. I'm just going to be a Toastmaster. Remember Toastmasters. Thank you.
At this point, I will link this election to our
We've had a great meeting tonight, and we're going to get out a little bit early. Does it anything else that we could go on? Meeting adjourned.
All right.
We're going to do it.